Thank you very much, Gaurav, and thank you very much for the previous presentation, Nitin. It was really amazing. Right now in ESA, I'm doing an M&A course, and I'm quite familiar with all the content you have shared, so it's really good. And also I did the venture capital course, and yeah, it was amazing. Currently, like with you, as Gaurav was saying, like my experience, my tips to get into consulting, and also if you have any about anything you may want to ask me, because maybe you can relate a little bit more with me, as I'm 27 right now, so I'm not so far from your age. And after the MBA that I'm doing right now, I'm gonna join Bain and Company. So feel free to reach out in LinkedIn or anything you may want to ask after this meeting. So I just wanted to share with you a really short PPT that I had. Let me know if you can see my screen. Okay, I take that as a yes. But basically, like, I wanted to divide the two main parts. The first one is to tell you a little more about myself, who am I, and then the main recommendations to enter in consulting, at least from my point of view. It's you may have other opinions, and if you ask any other consultants, they may have other opinions. So don't take these tips, let's say, as the only tips that you're gonna receive, or ones that are valid. So talking about myself, basically, like as Gaurav was saying, like my pre-MBA experience, it's I'm an industrial engineer here in in Madrid, in Spain. I'm from Spain. I used to work in management solutions and Capgemini Invent. I used to work for 3 years in London and in Madrid. I really like consulting. Since I ended in engineering, it's something that I really love. I love the work that I did, the impact that I had, and also the international exposure that I could have in these companies. Nonetheless, like I always wanted to kind of join let's say a top consulting firm. That is why my case for the at yes, it was key for me, because it was from one side, it was like I needed the knowledge, the financial knowledge. As an engineer, I didn't have this kind of background, and I also did the MBA. It's a platform that really helps you in order to get these kind of interviews. Like, to be honest, before I didn't get a call from McKinsey, and then thanks to Yese, like I got a call from all the consulting firms you can imagine. And then in the end, I received for the summer internship with BCG Madrid. But then I decided to have kind of a more international exposure outside of Spain, and I wanted to go out. And that is why I did also the process for the full time. Like, as you may know, in the MBA, if you have 2 years, you can do a summer internship and then the full time. I got an offer from McKinsey and from Bain, Mexico, and I decided to join. So if you have any questions about the three MBBs and what was my choice about Bain, like, you can also ask me. And here, like, it's a summary of the things that I just told you, and I'm really looking forward to go to Mexico September next year. Right now, I'm in the second year of the MBA, and I'm really enjoying for the moment this time. And then going on to my tips for consulting, as if you are preparing for consulting firms for the interviews, or if you are already consultants, you try to be a little bit structured. So that is why I have here 3 main points. So the first one is about the networking and CV. The second one is the preparation for the interviews. And the third one is the background and education, that, in my opinion, consulting firms, they take this into account. So for the first point, the networking and CV, I think this is in order to enter in consulting, you need to take this as a funnel. So the first part of the funnel is the networking and for sure the CV. That is first how consulting firms get to know you. It's the networking part, and then how they see you in the CV, like all your background and what did you do in your education, what did you do in your professional experience, and it's something that is really important how you present it. So going for the networking part, many people try to apply to consulting without getting to know these firms and without getting to know the people there, and I think this is a mistake because normally also like more in this case more for is the position or maybe for the MBAs, they can receive like thousands of applications from their side. So if you don't try to do network with them, like they are just gonna see your application, and unless your CV is outstanding, you're gonna have really low chances if it's not. There's why network is quite important. Like if you go to any of the websites of MBBs, normally they have events related with your university and also any kind of events. But also, like again, if you have LinkedIn, so if you search for consultants that they were previously in your universities or in your MBAs or masters, I'm sure that they will be delighted to talk with you about the firm. And these conversations, they're really nice. They're really important because apart from getting to know them, they are getting to know you. And in the end of these conversations, you should always try to keep this relationship with this person, and also try to ask this person to put you in contact with more people. And normally, if this person normally likes you, like the people that they are gonna put you in contact, normally is the HR or principals, so people that normally are important in the offices that you are trying to get into. And the second point is the CV. The CV is something that like also when I was an engineer and when I was like 20 years or something like that, I didn't give too much importance to the CV. But the main two bullets that I wanted to mention here are the order in which you present the CV. In my case, my CV is kind of like a regular CV, like it's formal, like it's not like I'm seeing now some CVs with like they look really fancy, but in my opinion, I think you should try to keep it really formal and really old style. But this is my opinion. And what is really important is the bullets that you put, and also like how you put these bullets. Like you always need to try to start with a verb and try to talk about the task you were doing in that activity, to talk about the actions you did, and also clear results showing KPIs, showing percentages, showing amounts, like absolute numbers. So it's really important that you are really specific. And also an extra tip here, normally consulting firms, they look for problem-solving bullets, they look for entrepreneurial drive, and they look for leadership bullets. So you need on these parts. Then moving on to the second part, the preparation for interviews. Here I have three main parts. Like I don't know if you are preparing for consultants, but as you may know, it's kind of a really challenging part of the interviews, like to prepare for the case and the fit, because normally candidates are really prepared. So my main tip case are two. The first one is try to be structured always, like throughout the case. Try to be conversational. You need to take this interview not as like a tested or anything else. Like you need to take it as if you are working with a manager trying to reach out a common solution. And also, in order to improve always like the mocks and your quality, you always need to write down your feedback and also apply it for the next mock, because if you just do mocks by the sake of doing them, it's not going to work out in the end. And then for the fit, which is the second part, normally people don't give importance for the fit, but for example, in McKinsey, the fit, I would say, is much more important than the case. So you really need to prepare for it, and you always need to try to be structured in your responses as in the mock. So always need to try to keep the STAR method, which is the situation, task, and results. And then like some tips that I wanted to give you, like I didn't know this when I was preparing before the MBA. There are quite a few platforms that help you to prepare for mocks and for fits, which are, in my case, the ones that I use. Is not like I don't receive any money for these platforms, to be honest, but they are really good. It's Rocketblocks and Case Coach. I think you need to pay for this, but like in the MBA, they offer them. But even though you need to pay for them, I think they are really, really good because they make you improve your skills, and they make you improve the way you do mocks and fits. And then lastly, to the third point, like the background and education, like I'm an engineer, but as I was saying, like to be honest, like my CV wasn't as particularly, let's say, attractive for these MBA firms. So in my case, the MBA that I did at ESE was it really boosted my chances. As I was saying, like before, I didn't receive a call from MBB, and thanks to ESE, like my CV was the same, but adding ESE, like I received a call from all the firms, all the consulting firms you may think on. So an MBA or a master in finance is something that you, like, if you want to get into MBB, it's something that you should try to consider. And also, if you want to ask me any question about MBAs or GMAT or ESE or anything you may want to talk about, you can ask me here or also afterwards in LinkedIn. I will be really keen on it. And that's it from my side. Thank you very much, guys.